my last one, and I only told one person. I saw Trump get shot in the head, and about 4 days later, he got shot in the head, and I screamed for probably a good hour. But about one was a dream, so I thought I was just having a bad dream. And then the damn dream come true. I thought he was dead. In my dream, he was dead. My name is Deborah Yates, and it's a pleasure to be here with you this evening, Mia. I live in United States, Bonita Springs, Florida, USA, and I am a retired landscaper, and I am an author as well. I've written a book about my 7th great grandmother, and that's behind me there. Her name was Nancy Ward, and she is the last beloved woman of the Cherokee Nation before the Trail of Tears, which is one of our sad moments in history. I have had multiple near-death and death experiences. I believe I have had 5 near-death experiences, and 2 I was dead. So I've had a pretty interesting life. My first one was at about the age of 3, and one of the neighborhood boys started beating me up and tried to drown me in a small stream, so to speak. And I can still distinctly recall looking up to the water and thinking this was the last thing I was going to see. Then probably the next one that I can recall, I was right around 17, and I was at a party, and my boyfriend played basketball, and he was the center, which means he's generally the tallest guy on the team. He was like 6'8" tall, so he's like huge, and he decided to play a prank on me. And he dressed up in a scary mask and an outfit, and he had these ugly monster hands, something like I'd never seen before. And he came up and he went at me and started making different noises and stuff, and I died. My heart just stopped. And I didn't realize I was dead, but I started like going up in the air, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and it just felt like I was walking on air, 8 feet off the ground. And I'm watching the commotion taking place in the middle of the room, and there's a man in the middle of the room, and he's, I can see he's going like this on somebody. And his name was Jim. And I just in awe was watching this person getting whatever done to them on the ground. And then he moved, and I saw that it was me. And I'm going, oh my gosh, what on earth am I doing down there like that? And it was at that juncture I realized that for sure that was me laying on the ground, and this man was beating on my chest. And as quickly as I left my body, I whoosh, just went back, and I opened my eyes and I looked at him. I said, "What are you doing to me?" He says, "Well, you dummy, I just saved your life." And I went, "What?" He goes, "You were dead." I said, "I was dead?" And he goes, "Yeah, you were dead." So a month later, I get out, I go home. Month goes by, my mom takes me to the doctor to see the doctor because I'm still real weak and still not back to myself. And because I lost a lot of weight and, went down real tiny, and it just takes a while to recuperate from that stuff or whatever it was, because I still didn't know what it was. But I was getting an inkling because it was by that time, it was on TV, and they're talking about periods and women going off their periods and getting real sick and dying. And everybody had been dying. And so we went into the doctor's office, and he, started talking to my mom, and he goes, I feel safe enough now to tell you that she's better. He said, the reason I had you come home, he says, your daughter was within hours to a day from death. He says, I didn't think we was going to be able to save her. He said, everybody's, she's the first person to live with whatever this is. They haven't named it yet. And then probably about a week later, they gave it the name toxic shock syndrome. And so I was the first person to survive that. So then life goes along okay, and I don't have anything too bad happen to me, and I end up out in Texas. And I moved out there, and I'm, enjoying the weather and the water, and, taking a nice swim in the swimming pool and doing laps. And the next thing I know, I'm finishing a lap, and I bring my head up out of the water to touch the side to do the kick and go back. And my hand came down in the back of a light fixture that fit in underneath the water in the pool, and it floated up to the top, and I came down into like a cone-shaped thing, and my hand just slapped on it, and here we go again. I'm dead again. Oh God, oh no. This is so weird. I'm watching these sparks fly over here, and I'm looking around, and I'm seeing just how beautiful everything is. Oh man, it's so pretty. It's so pretty here today. And I look to my right, and in front of me is my grandmother, who had been dead for probably about 4 years, maybe 5, at least 4. And we greeted each other and said hello, and if I'm not mistaken, we might even have said some pleasantries, And she tells me that it's not my time yet, and that I am needing to go back. So I don't know how to say, but other than I kind of argued with her, telling her, no, I want to stay here. I want to stay here. I want to stay with you. This is so much nicer. And she said no, and she waved her hand in front of herself, and when she went like this, it got about the middle of me, that electric literally stopped. It let me go. And my hand came out of the back, and my arm, came around, and then I smacked into the side of the wall, and it threw me backwards in the water. A good 10, maybe 12 feet in the water. And when I came to a stop, of course, I could once again, now I'm smelling my own burning flesh, and I started hurting like no pain I'd ever felt before. It was like every single cell of my body was aching and on fire. And I'm going, well, okay, you're alive. Now you gotta get your butt out of this pool. So I swam over to the side of the pool, started to reach for the ladder, and as plain as day I heard, "Don't touch that ladder." So I pulled myself off to the side and threw myself up on the edge as far as I could and flattened up like a board and started inching myself out of there so that my body was out of the water, because I was just 1,000% sure that water was going to go like electrified and kill me. And it's like, no. So anyways, I got myself up out of there, and there's a man sitting over there, and I start talking to this man, and he's asleep, so he's of no use at all to me. And so I walked up and grabbed a wrought iron fence that went around the pool, and I just grabbed it and just started shaking. I shook like that for, my guess is 10 to 15 minutes until the ambulance got there. There was 2 little girls that were roller skating on the outside of the pool area and seen what happened and ran to get help for me. And her mother came to see me about a week later, to make sure I was doing all right and I was feeling better, and kind of told me what the girls had told her about the incident. And they said, by the way, my daughter said you were speaking a really beautiful language. I said, what? I said, you mean English? And she goes, no, you were speaking a foreign language. What language do you speak? I says, English, and not well, sometimes. And so I don't know who I was talking to and in what language I was talking to him, but that was a very interesting experience. So I went to the hospital, and the nurses are coming in and the doctor comes in, and I noticed everybody's just kind of like hitting on me. I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting so many pats and rubs. You okay, girl? Yeah, I'm gonna be okay, I'm sure. And then here goes the 2 maintenance men that work in the hospital, fixing all the stuff they can fix. And they said, ma'am? I said, yeah. He says, ma'am, would you mind if we rubbed you? And I went, say what? He goes, can we touch you? Can we rub on your skin? And I looked at the nurse, and she goes, what they're trying to tell you is you should be dead. There is no earthly reason that you should be alive. You should be dead. And they want to touch you because you're good luck. And I went, oh, by all means, go right ahead. So that was my electrocution day. And, it did cause me a lot of problems. I definitely hurt myself that day, but I get to live. So I got sent back. I got saved again. It's like, what's up? Oh, yes. So I just lived one of those lives. I was trying to, probably should sit down and categorize all this stuff, because I've had so many close calls to death. I think there's 5 or 6 of them. So starting really basically even probably before I was born. I was outside, of course, in a pool, and it was so clean. All I can say, it was pristine, and it smelled good, and the colors were so vibrant and so perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. And it smelled good. Well, at least until I came back and I could smell that. But while I was on the other side, it was beautiful. So I aim to believe, after that day, that heaven isn't some place that we're gonna go up in the sky and in the clouds and like that. Heaven is right here. It's gonna be right here. And when the Creator comes back to claim everything, He's going to make it all perfect. So when we cross over and go be with Him, it will be like nothing that we've experienced probably, for 100 years or so. That our air was clean, and our skies weren't full of chemicals, and the water wasn't full of chemicals, and I thought we've mistreated our Mother Earth, but someday he's gonna come and he's gonna make it all beautiful again. I have seen mostly world events. I've seen things that pertain to friends. Never anything about myself. It was like I told my girlfriend that her son needed to be careful in his bedroom. It's something about his windows. And I wasn't sure exactly what the problem was. And I told her, I said, this is going to sound stupid. I said, but your son needs to be careful in I think it's his bedroom. So I don't know what's going on, but there's something wrong up there. A week later, his room caught on fire, and it was the windows. It was like one of those houses that's like real old, like 100 and some years old, and it had what they call prismed glass, like etched glass in one of the windows in his room, and he'd left some papers on his bed, and that light come through and prismed in just such a way it started a fire. But you just never know what's I never know what I'm gonna see. I've seen a lot of world events. I saw the shuttle blow up. It's like it was playing like a movie in my eyeballs. And I told my girlfriend, I generally will tell one or two people what I've seen, so that if it happens, I got backup, you know what I'm saying, for myself. And because, like, what do you do with that? Okay, the shuttle's gonna blow up, and I've seen the shuttle blow up in my mind, and I'm not gonna call NASA and say I saw your shuttle blowing up. And then when it did happen, it upset me very, very badly. All I could do was scream. I screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed. And I thought it was going to kill me. A piece of my heart died. And I begged God, Creator, the Holy Spirit, whoever, to take this stuff away from me, because there's nothing I can do with this information. I can't call somebody and go, the shuttle's gonna blow up. Or they're gonna think I either did something to it, or that I'm part of some deep plan that, terrorist or something. So yeah, no, I didn't say anything. I've had a lot of incidents like that. I got caught up on one of them. I was in the first grade, and the teacher was talking about John F. Kennedy, who was our president. And I told her, I said, he's dead. And she goes, what are you talking about, Trevor? I said, he's dead, the president's dead. And she said, no, he's not. Okay, so class goes on, the day goes on some, and then I'm looking out the window, and the police come flying into the building, into the driveway to the building, and they get out and they come running in to the school. And then the next thing I know, somebody's running back out of the school, and the cops are running back out, and the secretary inside runs to the flagpole and brings the flagpole down. brings the flag down to what I would later come to know was half-staff. And they called the teachers to come out into the hallway, and my teacher went out into the hallway, and she come back in, and she was crying, and she said, "The president's been killed in Dallas, Texas, and we're going to be dismissing school." And then the next thing I know, I'm being taken by my teacher to the principal's office. And for the next hour or so was very much questioned by what I would understand would either be the CIA or the FBI, as well as a local policeman. And I don't know for sure how that was handled afterwards. All I know is for the next probably 6-7 years, once a year, these guys would show up in their suits and their ties, and I would get pulled out of class, and we would talk about all kinds of stuff. And when I was in the 8th grade, I was not happy about it. You know, I've got these people pulling me out of class, asking me questions, and this time they wanted to know why I wasn't getting A's anymore. I said, "Well, I've decided I'm not going to study anymore." He says, "Oh, really? Why's that?" I said, "Well, I'm thinking maybe if I quit studying and getting good grades, you'll quit following me around." And that was the last time I ever saw him. So I know they followed me. I know they took my records. They tried to get me into what's called Mensa. They tried to get me in study groups. And I'm going, "No, I don't think so. No, I don't want to be studying." "Well, you seem to have really high psychic ability." And I said, "Okay. And, no, I don't want to be part of your tests. I'm Native American, you know, and I don't trust government." It's just the way it is, you know, it's just the way it is. We got a deep-seated mistrust of government, of law enforcement type people. You know, they've been known to hurt my family before, so it was just the culture we were raised in. Even though I wasn't raised as a Cherokee Indian, I was raised Cherokee, because those traits and those nuances of non-trust is just passed from one generation to the next, just kind of naturally. I don't know what to do with it. Like I said, I've begged for it to be gone. I'm not sure why I know these things. If it's, you know, it's meant for me to understand that God is real, or if it's I'm supposed to do something with it. But I was afraid really my whole life. This is not stuff I've talked about until, you know, fairly recently. I was doing an interview for my book, Woman of Many Names, and I accidentally kind of outed myself and admitted that, you know, I see things, I hear things, and you know, it kind of just, I think, all balls up together, and it's intertwined in a way that I don't even understand. I don't expect anybody else to understand it if I can't understand it, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the information that I get. I don't know. It's as honest as I can be about that. I have no idea. I just know I wish it didn't happen because it hurts. It hurts me. Like I said, when I saw the shuttle blow up, and the night before World Trade Center, I didn't get the normal thing that I normally get, which is like a movie playing in my head, in my eyes. That was just, I kept waking up and I kept falling and jerking awake, and I did this all daggum night long, for hours, and I finally ended up just getting up and staying up because I couldn't quit falling out of the sky. And we all know what happened the next day, or that day. It was actually would have been the same day. And so that wasn't my normal way of getting information or receiving information. So I really don't know. Sometimes it doesn't all make sense until like afterwards, when it's over. So I'm not really sure what you do with that kind of stuff. Is it just meant to torture me? I'm not sure. Maybe. I do. I can have dreams and visions, and sometimes I want to say it might even be hard to tell them apart. My last one, and I only told one person. I saw Trump get shot in the head, and about 4 days later he got shot in the head, and I screamed for probably a good hour. But that one was a dream, so I thought I was just having a bad dream. And then the damn dream come true. I thought he was dead. In my dream, he was dead. And so, the angel saved him. The angel saved that man. That's all I can figure out, because in my dream he was dead. And like I said, it was probably 3 days before it, and then I had another one here not too long ago, and they were saying that he wasn't gonna win, and I not sure if it was a dream or a vision on this one either, but I was wearing a military uniform and I saluted him. So I told my friend, I said, she goes, "Oh, I just don't think he's gonna win." I said, "He's winning." She goes, "Well, how do you know that?" And I said, "I saluted him." She goes, "What do you mean you saluted him?" I said, "Well, I don't know if it was a dream or a vision." I said, I'm not sure. I said that they kind of run together, and sometimes it's hard for me to differentiate if it was a dream or if it was a vision. But I was sure. I was sure he was going to win that election. So that's how I know. She goes, "Oh, I feel so much better." It's okay. She's not afraid of me. She's my not afraid of this type of stuff. So she's one that I go to a lot with these things, because not everybody understands. There's something coming up with the planets, and I'm hoping that this realignment is what's blocking me after that. Thank you very much for having me on your show, Mia. It was a pleasure to have met you. My book is called Woman of Many Names by Deborah S. Yates, and I don't know if y'all have Amazon over there or not, but you can get my book on Amazon, or you can go to www.womanofmanynames.com, and you can order the book that way. My publicist is Bruce Wozniak, and his company is called Now Hear This, and you can find my page on Facebook, woman of many names. Just ask to be a friend, and he'll click it on, and we can get a hold of each other that way.